Hey, what's going on everybody? This is Keegan here and welcome back to the channel. I'm back with a brand new video for you guys, and today I'm bringing you guys another collection video for you guys. And this time we're doing a gaming related collection video. It's been a long time since I last did a gaming collection video. The last time I did one was on my PS3 collection back in late 2020. So I figured it's about time I do another gaming related collection video. And today we're going to be doing a look on my Nintendo 64 collection. This is just going to be my collection of games that I own on the Nintendo 64. Now, I only have about 15 games on the Nintendo 64, so I don't have too much games on the Nintendo 64. So this video is not going to be too long compared to some of my other collection videos. Now, before we dive into the game itself, let's talk a little bit about my history with the Nintendo 64. Now, I was born in 2001, which was the last year of the Nintendo 64 before it was discontinued in 2002. So I didn't own a Nintendo 64 growing up, but I remember going over to my cousin's house and playing on it. And I didn't get my own Nintendo 64 until 10 years later in 2011 when I got it off Kijiji. My aunt bought it off some guy off Kijiji back in 2011. And the Nintendo 64 is a great game system. There's a lot of great games on it, such as Star Fox 64, Super Mario 64, Zelda, Ocarina of Time, Zelda, Majora's Mask, and so on. But there's a lot of great games on the Nintendo 64. Although it isn't a system I play all the time, it's a system I play sometimes. Although I haven't played my Nintendo 64 in a while. But that's technically my history with the Nintendo 64. So we only got 15 games in this video, so this video isn't going to be too long. So I'll just go by each game one at a time and talk a little bit about them. And these are all going to be in alphabetical order. So anyways, I don't really have a whole lot to say. So without further ado, let's take a look at the games I own on the Nintendo 64, shall we? Alright guys, so those are the games right there. And we're going to go through them in alphabetical order from B to W, and the ones that start with the or a, the first letter of the word that comes after it will be the included on the whatever letter it is. Well, you probably know what I mean. So we're going to get started. Starting up, we have Body Harvest, which is a third-person shooter developed by DMA, which is also known as Rockstar North, and it was published by Midway. Haven't really played too much of this game, but from what I remember, it was a third-person shooter where you play as this guy in the future who travels back in time trying to stop these bug-like aliens from eating up the human race. And from what I remember, this game is pretty good, but it's really hard. It takes a little bit of time to get used to. And for a T-rated game, it's actually pretty bloody. How did it not get an M rating is beyond me, but it's a pretty bloody game from what I remember, which is kind of weird for a T-rated game. But it's a really hard game. It takes a little bit of time to get used to, but from what I've played, it's pretty good. It's not a bad third-person shooter. Next up is A Bug's Life, which is obviously based on the movie of the same name. I haven't played this game in a very long time, but from what I remember this game being terrible. I remember the controls were really stiff, and I honestly can't remember too much about this game, but all I remember is that this game was really, really bad. Like, it's terrible, but maybe not the worst game on the N64, but one of the worst movie tie-in games. But like I said, I haven't played it in a long time, but I remember this game being really terrible. I wouldn't recommend it. Apparently, the N64 is the worst version, apparently. I know the game was also released on the PS1 and the PC, I believe. Next up is Chameleon Twist, the first one, from Sunsoft. Haven't played this game in a long time, but I remember it being a platform game where you play as a chameleon who uses... I think they use their tongue to attack and... use it like a not like a zip line, like a grappling hook or whatever, if I remember correctly. This game's pretty good from what I remember. I know there's a sequel on the Nintendo 64 as well, but I don't have it. But from what I remember this game, I remember this game being a pretty solid platform game. I may try to find the sequel if I can find it, though. Maybe. Next up is Diddy Kong Racing, which is a classic game on the Nintendo 64. It's also available on the Nintendo DS, although personally I would prefer this version over the DS version. Although the DS version was the one I played the most when I was younger. But personally I would prefer the N64 version for some reason. I don't know why, but that's just me. But Diddy Kong Racing, it's a really fun game. Going around, trying to win races, collect balloons, and try to beat the bosses and stuff. But it's a pretty fun game. You could play as Diddy Kong, Banjo, Conker, and so on. But I remember this game being a pretty fun platform game. I mean, not a platform game, a racing game, my bad. I got a lot of platform games, forgot to say. Next up is another platform game, and I'm sure some of you probably know this one. Donkey Kong 64. And I know the sticker is ripped. DK. Donkey Kong. If you played the game, you know what the reference is. But pretty fun game. It's a pretty long game, too. I haven't actually beaten this game yet. I haven't played it in a while. But it's a pretty fun platform game. You play as Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong. I'm trying to remember the other Kongs. There was Trixie Kong and a couple of other ones you can play as in this game. And you're trying to stop King K. Rool from destroying DK Island. And I like the music in this game. It's a really, really fun platform game. I like playing Donkey Kong, especially when you equip the cannon bazooka or whatever. Like, when you equipped it, he's like, yeah. But it's a really fun game. Definitely one of my favorite games that I own on the Nintendo 64. Next up is yet another platform game, Glover. It was published by Hasbro Interactive, but I kind of forgot who developed it. This one I know gets a lot of mixed receptions. Some people like this game, some people don't like it. And I know this game's also available on the PS1, and I believe it's on the PC as well. I'm not sure, though. Not a bad platform game. It's kind of a pain in the ass. You're supposed to... but it does have an interesting idea. You basically play as this glove guy there, and there's the ball right there. You're supposed to make it to the end of the level with the ball and trying to get over obstacles and shit like that. It's kind of hard, but it's pretty fun. Although, not the best platform game, but it's pretty good. It takes a little bit of time to get used to the controls. The control scheme is kind of weird, how I'd say. But I haven't played this game in a while, but I remember this game being a pretty solid platform game. It's not really for everyone, but I like it. I'm one of the few people that actually enjoys it for what it is. Next up is a first-person shooter, and I'm sure anyone who owns a Nintendo 64 probably has, or maybe even played this game. And that is GoldenEye 007, or just GoldenEye, which is a movie-based game, which may sound like a bad thing, but no, this one's actually one of the few games based on a movie that doesn't suck. I know this game hasn't aged well by today's standards, but it's pretty fun. Sure, it's it is outdated, but it's still a fun game to play once in a while, like to go back to and play. Weirdly enough, this game actually came out 2 years after the movie came out. The movie came out in 95, and this game came out in 97. Well, 95, the N64 wasn't even out yet for another year. And then this game just came out 2 years later. But if you've played a Nintendo 64, well, if you own a Nintendo 64, maybe you've owned this game. And yeah, it's a fun first-person shooter. Definitely one of the best FPS games on the system. There is another James Bond game that I have, but we'll get to that in a few minutes. Next up is another classic game, Mario Kart 64. And this is a player's choice copy with that sticker there on the sticker label. Just a fun game. This is the second game in the Mario Kart series. It's pretty fun. I like the music, I like all the courses, and it's just a fun Mario Kart game. What is there to say about it? Next up is another movie-based game, Mission Impossible, which is a third-person shooter, not a first-person shooter, which is based on the movie, which this game actually came out 2 years later. The movie came out in 96, and this game came out in, I believe it was 1998, I believe. This game, it was alright. It's not the best. It's not terrible either, but it's just okay. I know there's a couple of other Mission Impossible games, but I don't know if they're any good or not. But this one, it's okay. It's not terrible. Next up, we got another first-person shooter, Perfect Dark, published by Rare. And they also developed GoldenEye, I forgot to say. It's basically sort of just GoldenEye, except just a female character, and not at all related to the James Bond franchise, just a completely different game and a different story. It's a really fun first-person shooter game. This game's also available on the Xbox 360 download, but you can download it on the Xbox 360, and I believe you can download it on the Xbox One as well. I know there's a prequel that came out on the 360 called Perfect Dark Zero, but I hear mixed things about it. I don't know if I'll play it or not. And I believe there is supposed to be a new Perfect Dark game coming out on the Xbox One and Xbox Series X. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but I believe there is a new one coming out. But hopefully that one won't be bad. But Perfect Dark is a really fun game. Alright, so we only got 4 games left, and then we'll be done this video. Next up is Pokemon Snap, and someone named Sean Storbridge, or however you pronounce that, wrote their name on the sticker. They must have owned this game, but it's mine now. But I love Pokemon when I was younger, and I still like it to this day. Sure, I'm 21, but I don't know, I still like Pokemon like I do when I was a kid. This one's a completely different game in the Pokemon franchise. You're not battling other people and stuff like that. This one, you're actually taking pictures of Pokemon on a, it's sort of like a rail shooter, kind of, except you're on a cart, and you're just taking pictures of Pokemon in the level and trying to get the best picture possible and get the most points to progress. It sounds like a dumb idea, but I don't know, I think this game's pretty fun. I know there's a new one, I think it's like a sequel or something, that came out on the Nintendo Switch, I believe it was last year. I haven't played it, but I heard that one's pretty good. Maybe I'll give that one a shot someday. But I enjoy Pokemon Snap for what it is. I know some people don't like it, but I enjoy it for what it is. Next up is a classic Nintendo 64 game, and it was one of the first games released on the system. Super Mario 64. Again, this is a player's choice copy, and this one's got the E rating. The original copy was rated K to A, which was kids to adults, which was changed to E for everyone. But it's a classic game. Definitely one of the best Mario games ever made, and this was the first Mario game that was a 3D Mario game. And it's a really good game. I love the level designs. You can't go wrong with the music. The music in this game is so good, especially when they re-released this game years later on the DS with Super Mario 64 DS, which is a lot different. In that one, you could play Luigi, Wario, and Yoshi, from what I remember. But personally, I prefer the N64 version of this game. But that's just me. But it's an awesome game. What can you say? It's just a really, really fun platform game, and definitely one of the best Mario games ever made. Alright, so we got 3 left, and I lied earlier. There was 5. But now we got 3 left. And these next 2 are first-person shooter games. So the next one is Turok 2, Seeds of Evil from Acclaim. I don't have Turok 1, Turok 3, and Rage Wars or whatever. This is the only one that I have, but I will try to find the other games in the series one day. But for now, I just got Turok 2, Seeds of Evil. This is the black cartridge version. And this is the one where the controls are different, like where the C button's to move and the stick is to aim, which, if you know what the controller looks like for the Nintendo 64, first-person shooter games are awkward to play on the N64. especially in this game. But aside from the weird controls which you can change in the settings, it's a pretty good game. It's pretty bloody. You go around killing dinosaurs and stuff. I haven't gotten too far into this game, but from what I've played, I think this game is pretty good. I've never played the other Turok games, but I will try them out someday. But for now, I only got Turok 2. But pretty fun game. I enjoyed this one. Next up is another James Bond game on the N64. And that is The World Is Not Enough, which was the third movie with Pierce Brosnan, which this game was released in 2000 from Eurocom, MGM Interactive, and was published by EA Games. I think this cartridge is a little bit discolored. It's navy blue, but it's a little discolored looking. Yeah, it definitely looks like it was discolored. I enjoy this one. And kind of an unpopular opinion, I think I like this game a little more than GoldenEye. Although GoldenEye is pretty fun, but I don't know, I think I like this game a little more. That's just my opinion, though. It's a fun game. It's a little bit loosely follows the movie, but whatever. It's no big deal, but it's a fun game. I like the level designs, I love the music, and I don't know, I had fun playing this one. Alright, on to the last game for this video, which is Wipeout 64, which is a racing game published by Midway. Pretty fun, futuristic racing game. I know there's a couple of other games in the Wipeout series, but this is the only one that I played and the only one that I own. But it's a pretty fun game. I enjoy this one for what it is. I don't have much else to say about it. So, yeah, so that's Wipeout 64. And those are all my games for the Nintendo 64. Well, guys, so that's my collection of games that I own for the Nintendo 64. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like, leave a comment below, and feel free to subscribe for more videos like this. And feel free to follow me on my Instagram and the Letterboxd. The links for those are in the description down below. And more videos are coming soon, so stay tuned for more videos. But anyways, thanks again for watching. I hope you guys have a great day. And until next time, this is Keegan Shepard signing off. Thanks for watching. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.